happens every time I sketch. Hi guys, my name is Rick. I want to thank you for spending a little time with me. Well, I'm going on my 10th video and I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this channel. Originally, my thought was to pass a little bit of information to you, things that I've learned throughout my years of trial and error. I was looking at the previous videos that I've made and I thought that they showcased my art, but they didn't really show you anything. For example, the Kenworth truck that I worked on, the video doesn't show you the 3 previous tries that ended up in the garbage can. So I'm gonna try a little more straightforward approach, show you what I'm actually doing, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If it comes out great, great. If it doesn't, well, you know, you never lose. You either win or you learn something. And that's kind of the motto that I live by. Actually, I live by a lot of mottos that as I've gotten older, I've decided to change because frankly, it takes a long time. Okay, let's get started because you're probably wondering what I'm doing in the background. As an artist, I have other artists that I admire. I buy their books and follow them on YouTube. And I enjoy watching artists that can draw things that are very difficult for me or that I find very difficult to do. Guys like modern day James and Scott Robertson, the way that they put the lines on the paper, to me it seems like they have such ease, and I understand that, like myself, they've been doing it for a long time and they practice, but I still enjoy and lose myself in their videos. I had mentioned this to a friend of mine who also draws, and he told me about a YouTuber by the name of Uncomfortable, and he has a website called Drawabox. Well, I went by the website and checked it out, looked at the lessons, and also checked out the exercises, and I decided to give it a go. And that is what you see me doing right now. I'm preparing to do the first page of lesson 1 homework. Okay, let me go ahead and finish drawing the lines and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, I'm not gonna go too in depth on the whole principle of the thing, but I do recommend that you drop by Drawabox and read a little more about it. So the homework is this. Basically, what the lesson is teaching you is that your line should always be smooth and consistent. And a lot of the time you'll see beginners doing the little sketchy lines. And what this exercise is aimed to teach you is to go ahead and draw the line in one smooth pass. Okay, so the homework is this. You draw a line with a ruler, and then you go ahead and draw 8 lines freehand. Now, you're gonna notice that the shorter lines you can draw with your wrist very easily, but as the line gets longer, you're gonna get a little wobbly or crooked. So it talks about drawing with your wrist, it talks about drawing with your elbow, and it talks about drawing with your shoulder. So I thought, okay, easy enough. I've been doing this for a long time and I've heard these principles before. I probably have applied them to my own artwork without knowing. So I thought it'd be a cool thing to do. As you can see, I started the homework with the shorter lines and I used my wrist on the first one, that one well, and I started using my elbow for the next 2 lines that you see. But at this point I'm realizing that I don't use just my wrist or my elbow, that I actually use a combination of both. How do I know this? Because when I started trying to concentrate on drawing with my shoulder, the way that it was expected the homework to be done, I had a very hard time. At this point, I am copying the drawing that I saw on the website with your elbow turned, with your elbow at about a 45 degree, trying to lock it in place so that way I'm just moving my shoulder when I do these lines. And as you can see, I am all over the place because I am fighting myself. At this point, my wrist, my shoulder and my elbow are fighting to get these lines. So they're going. I'm not even starting at the same spot. You're supposed to start at the beginning on the same spot, and they're supposed to just flare out a tiny bit. I'm flaring out on both ends. So right around here, I start trying to make changes. So you can't see it with the camera, but I'm fidgeting a little bit because I am literally sitting back. So what I had to do in order for as you can see with my fingers, I'm trying, and it's just not working. So what I did is I leaned back and I locked my elbow, and literally I am just leaning back on my chair doing these lines. Now I thought that was pretty cool because I'm actually drawing lines using only my shoulder. Everything else is locked in place. Okay, so those shorter ones went well. One thing that you see me doing, and that's because I read all the lessons before I did the exercise, is I'm ghosting the line. Okay, so now I'm leaning back and I'm trying to do these lines, and the first thing I notice is that I cannot see where the line ends. I can see when it ends if I overshoot my hand, but the rest of the time I'm kind of using the force on it. So I thought it was pretty Jedi-like. I thought that was cool, and I went ahead and started practicing my ghosting just using my shoulder. As you can see, my first results, not so kosher, but we kept trying. Okay, so at this point, I've set back and I've managed to kind of get the rhythm going. I got my elbow locked, only using my shoulder. I'm ghosting the line, and I'm using the force just to make sure I finish on the right spots. And it's looking a little better. I was a little surprised that the lines are coming out this good, but I did notice that just like the lesson has said, sometimes I was going too fast, sometimes I was going too slow. And the times when I slow down is when you see the line get a little wobbly or just take off in its own direction. So I had to think about it for a little bit, rub my shoulder, because since I'm not used to doing this, it started twitching a little bit. And that made this exercise not only uncomfortable, but also it took a long time. Okay, so here's when I start working a few things. First of all, I start working on my endpoints, where I'm going to start, where I'm going to end, the angle that I need to have since I'm using my shoulder, so the line comes out straight and not in a curve. And also, you know, at this point I've decided I'm using my ninja skills as well as the force to make sure that I end in the correct spot. Had to take a little hand cramp break there, and it's back to work. right here. Take a look at this. Take a look, take a look. After all that practice within the same page, perfection. Look at that. Straight, even, the correct speed, the correct angle. We have achieved our goal. Da 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 da. Okay, I would like to tell you that every line after that was the same, but it wasn't to be. That was the one in a million. And after that, it all went back to falling apart. As you're about to see, I went ahead and finished the page just because I had a couple more lines to do, but it was never as good as that third one from the bottom. Well, I will be doing the next page here in a couple days, and hopefully this video is interesting enough for you to come back and take a look at my progress and my struggles. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you all later.